California is one of 3 states in the country which requires a 2/3 majority vote to pass the budget, which means that a third of the legislature can veto what 2/3 wants. Clearly not that which was in the minds of our founding fathers when they set up this democracy. And it also means that the budget is then determined by the minority party. We can move hundreds of issues, line items in the budget through the budget subcommittees. Majority votes decide what goes forward, what does not. Then, after both houses complete that process, the areas where the 2 houses disagree goes into a conference committee to be resolved again by a majority vote. That is the conference report of the budget. The leaders of both houses from both parties then, in consultation with themselves and hopefully the governor, meet as the Big Four or the Big Five, and they work out 5 or 10 of the most difficult last issues. And then that is brought to the floor of each house. But if the members of the minority party say it's not good enough for them, they stop the whole thing, and that's why we're late every year in meeting our deadline for passing the budget, because it is held hostage by the Republican minority. And traditionally, and this is of course great irony, that the Republicans who claim we have a spending problem, where I would suggest we have a revenue problem, give up their votes for pork. Give me money and I'll vote for the bill. Give my district something and I'll vote for the budget bill. And that's how we buy off so many Republicans each year. This year they went even further, pounding their chest saying that we have a spending problem, demanding that we cut the operating deficit even further, taking literally $25 of cost of living increase for SSI recipients, old and disabled people living on $850 a month, denying teachers a tax credit for the costs they incur in their classrooms, cutting transit funds, at the same time saying they won't vote for the budget, even after we make all these cuts, unless we spend more by giving tax breaks to corporations, under the guise that by doing so we'll bring in more business to California. The idea that we would have to spend more to satisfy Republicans is utter madness. We are through the looking glass. Given that we are one of just 3 states in the country, Arkansas and Rhode Island being the other 2, we need to change this. We attempted to at the ballot, and it is a constitutional amendment, so it means a vote of the people. We tried to reduce the 66.6% threshold to 55% just a couple years ago in Prop 56. But it's difficult to explain in a 15-second television commercial why voters should support this. And it's easy for the opposition to convince voters not to support it. And their television commercials were very simple. Want Democrats to raise your taxes? Vote for Prop 56. And it tanked at the ballot. So we need to change it. Only the voters can. It's going to take a real educational campaign, potentially educated voters knocking on their neighbor's door and one by one informing people. A grassroots campaign. Wouldn't it be exciting if we could use the internet and the blogosphere to begin that educational process and to go after the low-hanging fruit first, politically active and informed internet users, and spread the information from there. I think that's one of our last remaining hopes and a perfect use of the internet.